Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I cannot believe that it's 2025 already. Last year went by so fast and so many things happened last year, and hopefully this year is very productive as well and I achieve a lot of my goals. I do not believe in New Year's resolutions. I was having this conversation with my friend a few days ago and we're talking about mood boards and resolutions. I decided to make a mood board. I don't really make mood boards at all. Like, I've never made one before, but I was like, let's try something new this year. It's just a way to visualize everything that you want to achieve for the new year, so it just reminds you to keep on track. And this is my mood board. I incorporated quite a few different things. So I incorporated religion, friends, family, traveling, and making money and starting a business. And oh my gosh, getting my driver's license as well. I cannot drive and I'm turning 19 soon, so yeah. I made a smaller one as well so I can put that as my phone lock screen, and I'm really happy with how they both turned out. And this morning I decided to have some women's energy tea. My brother bought it for me. I have not tried it before, so we're gonna try it today. And I'm also gonna eat this baklava that I bought a while ago, a couple days ago. The cake is a bit hard, but I think the baklava should be fine to eat. And then a couple dates. Anyways, that is not what today is about. Today I have this crochet project that I want to finish. I started it like 2-3 months ago while I was still in Zimbabwe, and it's not done yet, so we're gonna try and do that today. I also want to cook dinner for my family. I love cooking and I haven't cooked anything in a while, so that's gonna be fun. And I also have a movie night with my little brother, so we have quite a few things to do and I think it's gonna be really fun. I'm not really in the mood to eat like a whole breakfast. I'll probably do that later on, but the thing is, once I start crocheting, I crochet for hours and kind of forget about eating. But anyways, once that was done, I turned on the TV and I decided to watch the new Wallace and Gromit film. I love Wallace and Gromit. That's what kind of got me into stop motion animation when I was a lot younger. When I was like 12, 13, I learned how to do stop motion animation because of this, and I'm gonna try and find a video and I'm gonna insert it on the screen of what I did in the past. But it's really fun and it's a very unique style of film. Like, I love it. But halfway through, not even halfway through, I think I watched like 5 minutes and I felt guilty because I promised my little brother that we'll watch this together, so I took it off and I decided to watch something else. I watched a series of Unfortunate Events. I remember when it first came out and it was so fun to watch, so I decided to watch a couple episodes to kind of reminisce. Okay, anyways, let's talk about crochet. So all I have left to do is the other sleeve. So I did the first sleeve while I was still in Zimbabwe, and then I just have this sleeve to complete. And I know it does not sound like a lot of work, but trust me, it is. It's gonna take me a couple hours. I already know that. I have some shows lined up in my head that I need to watch whilst I'm crocheting this. As I was crocheting and working on the second sleeve, I ran into a bit of a problem. The sleeve is expanding on the sides, and I laid it out flat to just make sure that I was not hallucinating. So I spread it out and I realized it is getting wider and wider and it's not the same width as the first sleeve. So I decided to take off a couple rows and then restart those rows. But the issue is, when you take apart this type of yarn, it gets tangled because it's mostly cotton. It's very fluffy and soft yarn, so when you're pulling stitches together, it ties itself into a knot almost. It's like it doesn't want to come out. It's like once you crocheted it, it's staying in there. So I had to rip a lot of my yarn and try and just get as many rows as I can out, and this took me a while, surprisingly, and I had to do it in sections because the yarn kept breaking and knotting itself, so that was really annoying. But once I did get it done, I began crocheting the rest of this jumper.
وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا قل هل ننبئكم
I only had a little bit of yarn left over when I fastened off, and I thought that this would be enough to crochet the next sleeve, but I was surprised. So we ran into problem number 2, and this sleeve is not long enough. I do not have enough yarn to continue this project, and the thing is, I bought this yarn in Zimbabwe, so I don't know if I can find it here. As of now, I have not checked yet, but I'm gonna look online and see if I can find the same blend so I can finish it. But the fact that this jumper is not finished in this video is not even my problem. I completely ran out of yarn, and I think it is my problem actually. I underestimated how much yarn that I'd actually need. So here are the options to this solution. So number 1, I could just look on the internet and see if I can find it, which is probably the easiest option. I'm gonna update you guys and tell you if I found it. And number 2, I could ask my grandma in Zimbabwe to go to the yarn shop and buy me like one more ball, because I only have 6 rows left to do, which is so annoying. Like, I was so close to finishing it, and then she can send it to me or keep it for me until I go back to Zimbabwe, which I don't know when that will be. But yeah, I think the safe option is to look online, and if we don't find it, then too bad. I'm gonna have to just make something else. Okay, so after that little bit of a fail, I decided to start cooking. I decided to start early so I'm not cooking too late, because my mom does not like the smells in the house. You know, when you're cooking, she likes to keep the windows open, but she doesn't open them at nighttime, so you kind of have to cook before sunset. And I love the view outside the kitchen window. It's so pretty. It kind of looks like something from a fairy tale, like the vines on the wall and then the bricks. It just looks so pretty. Anyways, I am a big fan of Indian food. Indian food, Pakistani food, I love. And samosas are my favorite food. But today I decided to make some naan bread and chicken curry. One thing about me is that I don't really like grocery shopping. Like, if I need to make a meal and I need specific ingredients, I'll literally send my brothers to go and buy it for me. I don't like going to the shops myself. But when it comes to shopping for clothes, books, or skincare, I am the first one out of the door. But I think it's a good trade-off. Like, you buy the ingredients, I cook. I think that's really fair. I started off by making the naan bread. So I wanted to make naan bread to go with this curry. And typically I make chapati because it's easier and there's less waiting time, but naan bread tastes so much better and it's a lot softer and fluffier, so I decided to make that instead of chapati. So in the bowl, I just added some water, yeast, sugar, mixed that together and covered it. And I let that rest for about 10 minutes, and then I started preparing the chicken. I hate touching raw meat so much. It's just so, it's disgusting. And I put this in the microwave to defrost. It was on the defrost setting, but for some reason it started cooking some of the chicken, so you can kind of see that when I'm cutting it, the really white areas, that's when it was starting to cook. So I took that out and decided to let it defrost on the worktop naturally before I end up microwaving everything cooked. That would have been a disaster.
ولحم طير مما يشتهون وحور عين كأمثال اللؤلؤ المكنون جزاء بما كانوا يعملون لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا تأثيما إلا قيلا سلاما
I made a little
سلاما.
spice mix, so I added some turmeric, garam masala, and chili powder. So my mom does not like chili food at all, so I decided just to add a little bit. I was going to add 2 tablespoons like I did for the other spices, but no, that would have been a bit too much. So I made that spice mix and I put some over the chicken. I added some yogurt, mixed it together, added some ginger. In curries, typically you're supposed to use ginger paste, but I didn't have anything that would turn it into paste. I know in the shops you can buy ginger paste, but I decided to grate the ginger anyway because it's going to be cooked down anyway, so it shouldn't really make a difference. And also with the garlic paste, I was supposed to add garlic paste, but I just grated a little bit of garlic. And then I also grated a few cashews because I don't have a hand blender. I know a lot of curries they add cashews or some other kind of nuts, but then you blend it together, but I didn't have one, so I decided to grate it and kind of make it into a flour and then add that to the curry. I did a lot of improvisation here, but everything turned out perfectly fine. And then my phone died, and then I kind of made everything. Okay, so I'm gonna catch you guys up. So I ended up cooking the curry on the pan. So what you do is you partially cook the chicken and then you take it out of the pan and then you add in your onions, a little bit more seasoning to the onions, and then what else do you add? Then I added a bit of ginger and more garlic, and then my chopped cashews, and then kind of stir that together and added some tomato paste. And then you add your chicken back into the pan, mix it together, and then let the chicken cook completely. And then I started on rolling out and cooking my flatbread. I didn't want this to turn into a whole cooking video, so I kind of stopped recording a little bit and I just started cooking because everyone in the house was hungry and my dad did not want to leave the house until he ate dinner, so I stopped recording because that was just slowing me down. But this is the finished product. This is what everything looks like, and let me just say the kitchen smelled so nice and the flatbread was so soft. I actually love how that turned out. After we all ate, we decided to watch the movie, and we decided to watch The Emperor's New Groove, and I think it's a really fun movie. If none of you have watched it, I 100% recommend that you watch it. It's really fun to watch, and there's a good message behind the film as well, and I won't spoil it for you. You guys will watch it yourself. And I did crochet a little bit during this film because I started it actually the day before, so I was trying to figure out how to crochet the sleeves, so I did a little bit of that and then I finished it the day after, which is what you guys saw at the beginning of the video. But yeah, that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I will see you in the next one.